Everyone has a story. And so does everything. Antique, vintage, or curio.
Honestly, so exciting to see a doll like this from the 1800s in such incredible condition.
Like, we've had collections that have sold for, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Technological innovations, cultural significance, personal memories. What is it that gives each of these unique items their timeless quality?
Can't find these anywhere. No.
Join us as we blow off the dust and breathe new life into the past and the curious. In this episode of The Past and the Curious, we journey through quirky sleepwear, beloved childhood toys, and classic advertising art. Marvel at the vibrant 1954 Sears Simpsons poster.
These posters are incredibly rare because of their very nature. They were meant to be disposed of.
Delve into the fun of the monkey bone pajamas.
There was a lot of excitement around this film coming out because it was very different from what he had normally done. It featured stop motion animation as well as live action.
Experience the nostalgia of the shoe-fly rocking horse.
Rocking horses have been around since early Victorian times, and they have developed and evolved over that time and become safer and more dynamic.
My name is Sarah Church. Today I brought in a shoe-fly rocking horse. I was bidding at an auction, like I do on a regular basis. I'm a little bit addicted, you could say. And I came across a shoe-fly rocking horse at an auction in Niagara, which was a little bit of a drive for me, but they always have really interesting pieces there. So I ended up winning and brought it home.
Originating in the 19th century, the shoe-fly rocking horse is a beloved children's toy that has stood the test of time. Designed for durability and aesthetic appeal, these rocking horses were typically handcrafted from solid wood, making them sturdy and safe for toddlers. Shoe-fly rocking horses were primarily made in Germany and exported to America until 1914. They were designed to be easily assembled, often shipped as flat packs, and featured intricate hand-painted designs. Their simplicity and sturdiness have made the shoe-fly a cherished heirloom, passed down through generations. These rocking horses also reflect the ingenuity of their makers, who incorporated recessed slots and metal brackets for easy assembly and disassembly. Their design has remained relatively unchanged, maintaining a timeless allure that continues to captivate children and collectors alike.
Hi Sarah, welcome to the show today. What have you brought to share with us?
Hi Linda, nice to meet you. I brought what you call a shoe-fly rocking horse. I operate an antique business, so it is for sale in my shop.
So Sarah, why did you want to bring this to our show today?
I was looking around my shop for items that were of historical significance, really, because there's a lot of things in my shop. And this was one of 3 things that I thought would be interesting to learn more about. I don't know much about this. What can you tell me, Linda?
Well, a rocking horse really needs no introduction. It was something that was played with and made for a lot of children for a long period of time. It's worn, it's been well used, which is lovely. This rocking horse would have been for a child in a family that couldn't afford a more elaborate one. And it would have been used for a younger child who could sit in the little seat and hold on to the bar and rock back and forth.
So Linda, I've actually brought in this piece that came with the rocking horse. It's a picture of the first child to have owned it.
Wow, isn't that interesting? Looking at this photo and the clothes the child's wearing, I would say that this is probably from the 1920s or 30s.
Really, that late?
I would think so, yes.
Okay. Linda, how far back does the rocking horse go?
Well, actually, children had hobby horses, which was like a horse's head on a stick, and they would imitate people riding horses and play with that. Eventually, it got turned into a rocking horse with runners that the child could rock back and forth on.
Oh, interesting.
In fact, historically, Job Cox in 1775 had the first patent for a cradle chair that rocked. So that was the first time anything was made and patented that rocked back and forth. And I'm sure out of that, all of these other rocking things developed. And that's probably how the rocking horse came into be. Can you imagine how much fun it would have been for a child in the 1920s or 30s to have a toy like this to play with?
I can, yeah. I mean, even when I was a kid, rocking in my rocking horse was the highlight of my day. Linda, how rare is a rocking horse like this nowadays?
Well, you don't see very many of them, that's for sure, especially this style of rocking horse. You see bigger rocking horses, carved rocking horses, that sort of thing, more than you see rocking horses like this. This style of rocking horse is actually called a shoe fly. Jesse Crandall is credited with coming up with the design of the shoe fly rocking horse, and it has 2 horses cut out of a piece of pine board that are put together in the middle with a seat, and they were set onto rockers. There's a place for the children's feet and a bar for them to hold on to when they're rocking. And it was much safer than sitting on top of a rocking horse. In this case, the child's in a seat with a horse on each side of it and a bar to hold on to, so much less chance of a young child being injured. Sarah, people that come into your shop, are they really interested in purchasing rocking horses like this?
I obviously haven't had a buyer yet, but yes, pieces like this are popular, and the more primitive, the more popular they are right now. I think that people typically like to have some piece in their home that is a conversation piece, and something like this would really spark a conversation among friends.
I think when anyone looks at a rocking horse, especially one as old as this one, it's very nostalgic and very romantic for people. It would certainly be a great reminder of the past to have something like this in your home.
It would, yeah.
Rocking horses have been around since early Victorian times, and they have developed and evolved over that time and become safer and more dynamic. And they're still being made today in some places. There are even rocking horses now that don't have runners. They have a mechanism to make the horse go back and forth by modern makers. The rocking horses that go back and forth are quite expensive, I think. But there are manufacturers that will custom make a rocking horse for you if you have the dollars.
I think that that goes to show, Linda, that there is still a demand for rocking horses.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah, for bringing in the rocking horse today. What is your plan for it moving forward?
The goal moving forward is to sell this. I know what I have this shoe fly rocking horse priced at, but I'd like to know your idea of its value.
Well, I've done a little bit of research, and considering the age of the piece and the fact that you also have a photograph that goes with it, I think makes it a little bit more valuable. And I would estimate the value of this piece to be about $150.
That's great news, Linda. That's about what I have it priced at in my shop. So moving forward, hopefully I can find a buyer.
Sarah, thank you so much for bringing this wonderful rocking horse on the show today.
Well, thank you, Linda, for all the information that you've provided on it. My hope is that I find a buyer who will appreciate the rocking horse and possibly use it as a conversation piece in their home. And maybe some child will get as much enjoyment out of it as I had out of mine.
I think this rocking horse is an indication of an era gone by. Children these days don't do enough physical activity, and these rocking horses were designed to give young children an opportunity to move and use their muscles. That we get our children away from their electronic devices, that would be a really good thing.
Coming up, uncover the legacies of antiquities.
Iconic from the Monkey Bone film. And these pajamas would have been custom made for Brendan Fraser.
My name is Allison Monroe, and I brought in Brendan Fraser's pajamas from the movie Monkey Bone. I love everything to do with film, including wardrobe. Wardrobe itself can be its own character in a film, so it's very important to keep everything history-wise intact instead of a lot of wardrobe unfortunately goes damaged or goes missing.
Monkey Bone was an enchanting film that dared to dance on the edge of imagination. In 2001, audiences eagerly anticipated this cinematic journey. Despite its bold ambitions, Monkey Bone was met with mixed reviews upon release, struggling to find its place among more conventional blockbusters. Guiding this fantastical adventure was acclaimed director Henry Selick, a master of stop-motion animation known for his imaginative storytelling. With classics like The Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach under his belt, Selick's vision brought Monkey Bone to life, infusing it with his trademark creativity and visual flair. Initial reception aside, Monkey Bone was part of a cinematic evolution, blending live action with advanced stop-motion animation techniques. It pushed the boundaries of hybrid filmmaking, paving the way for new possibilities in storytelling.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Allison.
Thank you.
Now, I think I recognize what's in front of me, but can you tell me what I'm looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Brendan Fraser's pajamas from Monkey Bone.
And how did this iconic piece come into your possession?
Well, I was a prop collector in high school, and of course, you have a small budget, so you're trying to hunt down those special pieces, and I found a person getting rid of their entire collection. Everyone was focusing on the mummy props, and no one had the appreciation that I did for Monkey Bone, so I got super lucky and I got this piece.
So cool.
Thank you.
And what was it about the pajamas that really stood out to you?
Well, of course, on top of Brendan being one of my favorite actors, was just how iconic this piece is and how much it stands out. Henry Selick's known for his zany patterns and wild colors, and the pajama scene is one of the most known scenes, and just being able to recognize it even down to the details and knowing it's exactly Brendan's was so cool to me. It's one of the most bright yet iconic scenes from Monkey Bone. Everyone is wearing such fun pajamas. It really sticks out in your memory, and nothing screams Henry Selick more than black and white pajamas.
Now, would you be a big Monkey Bone fan yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was my go-to anytime as a kid. It was one of my favorite movies. Huge nostalgia for me, and I just love it.
Wardrobe is such an important piece of storytelling, and in the case of these pajamas, they were truly the most standout piece of wardrobe from the entire film.
Yeah, so I absolutely love Brendan Fraser. I love the pajamas, but is there anything you can tell me about them?
Absolutely. Well, this set is iconic from the Monkey Bone film, and these pajamas would have been custom made for Brendan Fraser. You can tell just by the beautiful lining, the really unique buttons, and the print, the way that it's put together. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind piece in a really beautiful satiny fabric. Henry Selick was really delighted to be able to bring on fashion designer Beatrix Aruna Pastor, who designed all of the wardrobe for Monkey Bone. Pastor was very well known at the time for her really unique and creative approach to wardrobe, as we can absolutely see with these iconic pajamas. Now, Allison, how are we sure that these are the Monkey Bone pajamas?
On top of the label that's inside that you can make out Brendan's name just slightly, it came out with a studio-signed certificate of authenticity and a letter stating the fact that they auctioned off a lot of the Monkey Bone items from Fox and their warehouse themselves.
Excellent. It's so nice to have that certificate with it. There was a lot of excitement around this film coming out because it was very different from what he had normally done. It featured stop-motion animation as well as live action. As with a lot of films that took risks, it maybe didn't do so well at the box office, but it certainly became a cult classic, which I know is your connection to it. So can you tell me a little bit about the background?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was one of those kids who, once you liked an actor, you were watching all of his stuff. And I always found a love for Henry Selick and a lot of the less appreciated works, and just the combination of stop motion, cartoon mixed in with the live action acting was perfect for a kid my age, and just something I absolutely loved as both acting-wise and being a fan of his. And then that just slowly grew even more for my love for Henry Selick and Brendan Fraser. So I'm just super happy to have it.
When it comes to the condition of this piece, it's certainly an overall great condition. You can see if you look very carefully, there's definitely some makeup around the collar, which I can't believe was on Brendan Fraser. And then there's a little stain here, but otherwise, the whole set is in really lovely condition.
I'm super proud of it.
What I wonder when I look at this is, why didn't Brendan Fraser keep them?
I don't know either. I wish I know, and maybe hopefully I can ask him one day.
Do you have these on display in your home? Do you ever wear them? Tell me, how do they sit in your collection?
So right now they're just being safely stored away. I am hoping one day that Brendan will come to Toronto and I can bring them and meet him and either wear them as a cosplay or get him to sign it. But for now, I'm just keeping them safe and sound. They mean the world to me.
Allison, when you look at this beautiful pajama set, what does it make you feel?
Well, it's definitely cool seeing it on a mannequin for the first time. It just reminds me so much of what it looks like in the movie. It definitely brings back a lot of memories for me, but as well as a lot of power and strength, I would say, because these movies brought me a lot of comfort as a child. And it was an item that I just had to take with me, and it's one of the few items I took with me. And I was so happy I did, just because he was an inspiration for me and the reason why I want to get into acting and animation and directing. So having it is showing where I came from, what I hope to be one day, and it's like bringing a friend with me.
Allison, thanks so much for bringing in these beautiful pajamas.
Thank you.
Tell me, what is your plan with them moving forward?
Definitely getting a mannequin for sure, so I can have him in his full glory and so more people can appreciate him by sharing it online.
I think that is the perfect plan. Can I ask, would you ever consider parting with them?
I don't think so. They just mean so much to me and they've been with me for so long. I think the only person who I could give them to would be Brendan himself. We'll see.
Allison, can I ask what you paid for these?
Yeah, so with all the evidence showing that these are actually from the studio and Brendan actually wore them, I got incredibly lucky and I spent nearly $70 on them.
$70.
That's it.
Wow. Well, I think it's safe to say, knowing that there is no other pair seemingly out there in the world, looking at what other props have sold from the film Monkey Bone, and this being the biggest one I've come across, I would estimate the value, especially in this condition, to be approximately $1,000.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, but there was so much more to me. That's okay.
I'm so glad that you have them.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Allison.
Thanks for having me. I very much hope to continue to preserve them as well as maybe hunt down another monkey bone piece one day and hopefully get to meet Brendan and show them that they are well loved and see if he wants them.
I had so much fun talking about these pajamas with Allison. Her passion for owning a piece of Hollywood history like this was contagious, and it was honestly so exciting just to have such an iconic piece in front of us today.
Stay tuned. Artifacts await.
They became Simpson Sears roughly 2 years before this poster would have ever appeared in the store.
My name is Paula Trapita, and I brought a vintage Sears poster. I love everything vintage Christmas, and Sears was a go-to shop. It just reminds me of my childhood.
In 1933, as the Great Depression cast long shadows over hearth and home, American retail giant Sears introduced a more convenient method to holiday gift shopping. They called it the Wish Book. This Christmas catalog was a collection of wares that managed to encourage a sense of wonder and hope at a difficult time for many families. Yet, it was in 1952 that Sears would firmly root itself into Canada's economic fabric, birthing Simpson Sears through a partnership with the Canadian Robert Simpson Company. Their inauguration in Stratford, Ontario, signified more than the opening of a store. As the years passed, Simpson Sears expanded its reach, becoming a significant player in the Canadian retail market. By 2018, facing financial challenges and changing market dynamics, Sears Canada announced its closure, marking the end of an era for the iconic retailer.
Paula, welcome to the show today. And could you tell us a little bit about the artifact that you've brought in for us to see today?
Well, this is one of the Sears posters that would have hung from the ceiling of a Sears store or a catalog depot. This one's from 1954, and it is showing a town and Simpson Sears right in the middle with Santa.
What attracted your eye to these? Because I understand you have more than one.
Yes, I have, I think, about 6 different years from the 50s and 60s. This one is my favorite. It gives me the feel of shopping at Sears. I didn't shop in the 50s, but I shopped in the 80s with my family, and Sears outdid themselves at Christmas time with the tinsels, the posters, Santa Claus on the Midnight Madnesses, and it just takes me back to what Christmas used to feel like. So I'm not sure if you're aware that these posters were also the cover of every year's Wish Book.
You're absolutely correct, and that's part of the appeal and charm. For some reason, people tended to hang on to the catalogs a little bit longer. They're a little easier to find, but these posters, that's not the case. Posters like this and the catalog were meant as teasers for the upcoming seasons. And you would get them a little bit before Christmas, just enough time to get the kids excited about what they could potentially pick out of the catalog.
I always remember my mom coming home with the Wish Book and laying on the floor for hours looking at this year's toys, and I could only imagine in 1954 in the rural areas how excited kids would have been to see new things.
I have to agree, with Christmas coming up, that was a big part of my childhood too. I remember it was always a battle in the family who got to look through the wish book first. I usually backed away and just let my sisters have a good go with it, because otherwise things got vicious. For people in rural communities, the importance of the wish books as they came through were the amount of products that they contained. You had everything that a big city store would offer, and then more. This gave everybody across the country fair footing.
Tim, can you tell me a little more of the history of Sears? I know it started as Simpson Sears.
In the early years, it was actually a company by the name of Sears Roebuck. Simpsons introduced the wish book in the early 30s, and eventually the progression of names, they became Simpson Sears, roughly 2 years before this poster would have ever appeared in the stores. So you're looking at 1952.
I know I have about 12 of these, but how rare actually are these posters?
These posters are incredibly rare because of their very nature. They were meant to be disposed of. They were too large to be practically stored or put away, so not many of them survived. And the condition of your posters really adds to the value. This poster, you have to remember that the catalog that went with it, this was their all-in effort at advertising. This is where they put their money. You're looking at the time when television isn't in every home. Shortly after that, into the 60s and 70s, televisions became the way to go. And their campaigns on TV at Christmas time, they became quite impressive through that venue. But at the time, this was some of the best advertising out.
So the Sears catalog and the depiction of this poster is kind of come full circle. Back then, in 1954, you would open your catalog and place your order. Now you're doing it online.
You open up the laptop and that's as close as you'll get to a catalog. And you can find the same variety of product and have it delivered as well. The delivery aspect is an idea that came from companies like Sears. Paula, thank you very much for coming in and sharing with us today. Tell me, do you have plans for this poster moving forward?
Well, one of my copies will be staying with me and displayed every Christmas in my shop window. The other ones, there's no plan.
Okay. Would you ever consider selling them or donating them to a museum?
One set I probably would.
Okay. So looking at the value, this particular poster, I believe, is worth $300.
Wow.
Thank you, Paula, for coming in and bringing this terrific piece of Sears history. It was a lot of fun.
It was. Talking with Tim and going over the posters, I found so many other things I had never seen before. I didn't even know they actually had house delivery back then.
The poster was magnificent, highly reflective of the era, and it would have been a tool that really did its job well.